The night I turned 59, my childhood home called me. Not in a dream, not in a memory. The phone rang at 3:59 a.m., and when I picked it up, I heard my own voice, 6 years old, whispering a number. 59, I said. Come back. The door is still open. The line went dead. I sat in the dark, the receiver pressed to my ear, listening to the hum of a connection that shouldn't have existed. The house I grew up in was sold 30 years ago. The family who bought it tore it down and built a duplex. There was no door, there was no home, but the voice was mine. I knew it the way you know your own breath. And it was counting. My name is Grace. I'm a psychotherapist. I've spent 30 years listening to people's fears, their traumas, their buried memories. I know how the mind protects itself. I know what happens when a child sees something she shouldn't. I thought I knew everything about my own childhood. I was wrong. The phone call was the first sign. The second came the next morning, when I opened my front door to find a key on the welcome mat. Brass, old, with a number stamped into the head. 59. Tied to the key with a red ribbon was a photograph. A little girl in a white dress standing in front of a door. The door was painted blue with a brass knob shaped like a daisy. The girl was me. I was 6 years old. I didn't remember the dress. I didn't remember the door, but the photograph was real. I could feel the texture of the paper, the curl of the edges. On the back, in my mother's handwriting, Grace's secret door. She was counting the steps. 59. She never told us what was inside. My mother died 10 years ago. She never mentioned a secret door. She never mentioned counting. I called my father. He's 83, living in a retirement home in Florida. His memory is spotty, but when I asked about the photograph, he went quiet. A long, hollow silence. The playroom, he said finally. In the basement, you used to count the steps from your bedroom to the door. 59 steps. You said there was a girl inside. A girl who needed help. We thought it was imaginary. We didn't look. What happened to the door? Your mother painted over it. She said it gave her the creeps. When we moved, she made sure the new owners sealed it up. I drove to the old neighborhood. The duplex was there, ugly and gray, with 2 front doors and 2 mailboxes. I knocked on the door of the left unit. A young woman answered, holding a baby. I told her I used to live there. I asked if I could see the basement. She looked at me like I was crazy. There's no basement, she said. It's a slab, no stairs, no cellar. I thanked her and left. I walked around the side of the building to the spot where my childhood house had stood. The ground was covered in gravel and weeds. But I saw something, a patch of dirt, darker than the rest, slightly sunken. I knelt down. The dirt was soft. I started digging with my hands. A foot down, I hit wood, a board old and rotting. I pulled it away. Beneath it, a door, painted blue. A brass knob shaped like a daisy. The number 59 was carved above the frame. The door was locked. I used the key from my welcome mat. It turned. The door swung open. Below was a staircase, narrow, steep, descending into darkness. The steps were stone, worn smooth, and they glowed faintly. A soft, amber light that seemed to come from the stone itself. I counted the steps I could see. 1, 2, 3. The rest vanished into shadow. I climbed down. 4, 5, 6. The walls were close, brushing my shoulders. 7, 8, 9. They were covered in drawings, stick figures. A little girl in a white dress. Another little girl, smaller, dark, and numbers. 59 over and over, in every color, every stage of fading. 10, 11, 12. The air grew cold. My breath fogged. 13, 14, 15. I could hear a sound. Soft, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. But it wasn't a heartbeat, it was counting. A child's voice coming from below. 49, 50, 51, 52. A pause. Then 59, she's back. 16, 17, 18. The stairs began to spiral. 19, 20, 21. The walls were no longer stone. They were dirt. Roots hung from the ceiling, thin and white, like the veins of a dead thing. 22, 23, 24. The smell of earth was strong, and underneath it something sweet, honeysuckle. The same smell from my grandmother's garden. 25, 26, 27. I reached a landing. The stairs continued, but to my left there was a doorway. No door, just an archway, and beyond it, a room. A small room, maybe 10 by 10, with walls made of mirrors. Hundreds of mirrors, all different shapes and sizes, all reflecting the same thing. A little girl in a white dress, sitting on a wooden stool in the center of the room. She was holding a piece of chalk and drawing on the floor. Numbers. 59 in a circle around her. She looked up when I entered. Her face was my face, 6 years old. Brown hair, blue eyes, the same cowlick on the left side, the same dimple when she almost smiled. But her eyes were wrong. They were older, tired, hollow. "You remember now," she said. Her voice was my voice. "You came down here when you were 6. You found me. I was already here. I'd been here for a long time. You asked me who I was. I said I was you. You didn't believe me. You ran upstairs. You told your mother. She painted over the door. She forgot. You forgot. But I didn't. I've been counting for 59 years, waiting for you to come back." "What are you?" I whispered. "I'm the part of you that fell, the part that got lost when you were learning to count. You were learning the numbers, 1 through 100, but you got stuck at 59. You couldn't remember what came next. You got so frustrated that you cried yourself to sleep, and while you were sleeping, I fell out of you. I landed here, in this room. I've been counting ever since, trying to get to 60, trying to finish what you started." She stood up. The chalk fell to the ground and broke into pieces. "You're 59 now," she said. "The same age as the number you couldn't say. You've spent your whole life avoiding it. You became a therapist so you could help other people remember their numbers. But you never helped yourself. You never came back, until now. What do you need me to do? Count with me, from 1 to 59 all the way. And when we get to 59, you say it first. Then I can say it. Then the door will open, and I can go back inside you, and you'll be whole again." "Whole?" She nodded. "You've been missing a piece of yourself for 59 years. That's why you've never felt complete. That's why you keep searching. That's why you never had children. That's why you sleep alone. Because I'm down here, counting, waiting." I looked at the floor, at the circle of numbers, at the little girl who was me. "Where's the door?" I asked. She pointed at the far wall. Between 2 mirrors, a door had appeared, blue, with a brass knob shaped like a daisy, the same door from the photograph. It was open, just a crack. Through the crack, I could see light, not sunlight, a different kind of light, warm amber, the light of a bedroom at bedtime. "That's your room," she said. "Upstairs, 6 years old. Your mother is reading you a story. If we open the door all the way, I can climb through. I can become you again, and you'll remember. You'll finally remember how to count." I walked to the door. I put my hand on the knob, so warm. "1, I said. The girl joined me. 2, 3, 4. The mirrors began to glow. The light turned gold. 5, 6, 7. The floor beneath us warmed. The walls pulsed. 10. I could see faces in the mirrors, not the girls, my face, at every age. 20, 30, 40, 50. They were all watching, all counting along. 11, 12, 13. The door opened wider. The light spilled out, warm and golden. I could hear a woman's voice, my mother's voice, young and soft, reading a bedtime story. 14, 15, 16. The girl started to change. She grew taller. Her white dress became a nightgown. Her pigtails became long braids. She was aging than before. 17, 18, 19. She was a teenager. Her face was my face at 16. Awkward, hopeful. 20, 21, 22. She was a young woman, my face at 25, in love. Broken. 23, 24, 25. She was my age. 59. Her face was lined, her eyes were tired, but she was smiling. 26, 27, 28. We counted faster. The door was almost open. I could see my childhood bedroom, the twin bed, the stuffed animals, my mother sitting in a rocking chair holding a book. 29, 30, 31. The girl ran to the door. She put her hand on the frame. 32, 33, 34. She looked back at me, tears streaming down her face, but she was laughing. 35, 36, 37. I ran after her. I reached the door. I stepped through. I was 6 years old. I was sitting in my bed. My mother was reading about a bear who couldn't find his way home. I was warm. I was safe. I was whole. And then I was 59 again, standing in my own bedroom, in my own house, in the dark. The clock on the nightstand said 3:59 a.m. The door in the floor was gone. The key was gone. The photograph was gone. But I remembered. I remembered everything. The basement, the little girl, the counting. I remembered that she was me. And I remembered that I had finally said the number. I went back to sleep. I dreamed of a field of flowers, a little girl in a white dress running through the grass. She turned and waved at me. Then she ran into the arms of a woman, my mother, young and smiling. They disappeared into the light. I woke up at noon. I felt different, lighter, fuller, as if a weight I'd been carrying for 59 years had finally been lifted. That was a month ago. I'm 59 now. I'll be 60 soon. I don't hear counting anymore. I don't see mirrors. But sometimes, late at night, I feel a warmth in my chest, a small hand holding mine. And I know that the little girl isn't trapped anymore. She's part of me. She always was. But last night, I found a key on my nightstand. Brass, old, with a number stamped into the head, 60. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what door it opens. But I know that next year, on my 60th birthday, I'm going to find out. Because the counting never really stops. It just changes. And somewhere in a basement or a well or a childhood home, another part of me is waiting. Another number is rising in my throat like a lullaby. I'm 59 years old. I have maybe 30 good years left, and I'm going to spend every one of them counting. Not because I'm afraid, because I'm a therapist. I know that the only way to be whole is to remember. And there are so many numbers I haven't said yet. Tonight, I'm going to put the new key on my nightstand. I'm going to sleep with the lights on. And at 3:59 a.m., I'm going to listen. For a child's voice. For a whispered number. For the sound of a door opening in the dark. 1, 2, 3. I'm ready.